Alright, here we go. Hello, everyone. It is me, your favorite ghost mayor, Margrave. There's many titles I can technically stand by. But I'm finally doing proper introductions. If you guys have watched any of my VODs or covers, you've known that I've been making content. But let's get into proper introductions. I've had people who have been interested in this. So, hello, my name is Matilda Portier, or most people call me Mettie. It's much more convenient. I am technically a ghost and undead, but can be further classified as a nightmare demon. Describing traits: sickly, scatterbrained, nerdy, creative, weak, emotional, weirdo, passionate, ambition, and easily lost. So if that is appealing to you, then my streams are definitely going to be interesting for you. So let's go and I'm gonna show my character ref. That way you guys can get kind of an idea of what I look like. It's on, you can find it on my Twitter, Tumblr, and Blue Sky as well. But character ref, just to give a good look. I'm not going to do a full body thing with my actual break because I rigged it myself, and let's say it's not as interesting on the lower half. But eventually I will update it. And then, as you can see on my little shoulder here, I do indeed actually have a fan mascot. One of many I'd like to have some variation in. So here is the Batoyan ref. Very, very rough. Very rough. But, just a general look. Of course, there can be different custom colors and different things, but yeah. Batoyan, off of, citoyen, which means citizen in French. So, yeah. And then let's get a little bit into my story. Of course, I'm going to probably do a proper lore video later on, but let's hit some key points because it can get a little confusing. So, there is a country that you won't find in this day and age called Arosia. And there used to be a coast that was dedicated to growing olive trees. I was a merchant's son, but that part isn't necessarily interesting about my story because, you know, as an undead, probably the most interesting thing about myself is what led to my death, no? Alright, so first, we have to talk about what it means to become a demon. Now, it's common knowledge that spirits can become corrupted and cruel and evil based on their situations. If they die harboring resentment, they can turn into something monstrous. And for me, that started with a dream. Or should I say, a nightmare. And I don't know if you've ever had a dream that haunted you, a nightmare where every night I would go to bed dreading the same dream every single time, where it was dark, it was cold, I could not breathe, water would fill my lungs and suffocate me to the point that I would die every single time, and right at the end, there was always the same light that I would see, and I knew that it was the Reaper coming to get me. And so, years upon years upon years, I reached adulthood being haunted by this. However, I came to realize that it wasn't just a dream. I belonged to a merchant family. My uncle was taking me out on a boat, trying to prove to me that it wasn't a problem. But it was. You see, the sea was no friend of mine, and we got drifted out to shore as he realized that the fair winds that he predicted before were just an illusion. Superstition took hold, and, let's say I never saw the light of day again. Whew. So, as you could expect, bleeding out, falling into a dark, incredibly cold water, Um, resentment filled me. And unlike my dreams, there was no light that came to get me. No, no. It was just suffering and pain and loneliness. So, as you can expect by my previous statements, I became something truly monstrous. A nightmare demon. And the fun thing is, too, is that it's not... Well, I shouldn't say fun, but it's, it did not end there. See, obviously, as you can see, I am undead, but I do not look how I used to look back in the 11th century. Nor do I look even how I... Well, that's technically spoilers, but... So I became something that resembled my dreams. Something that brought lights, that truly beckoned in those and brought them to death. In fact, people in swarms would start walking to the sea as soon as they fell asleep. I haunted them in their nightmares, and they were drawn to me. Once the casualties reached into the hundreds, which is quite a lot if you don't know anything about 11th centuries, especially in a country as small as Erosia, my evil reign did come to an end, and that came with a mercenary by the name of Chrysos Portier, my now boss. So he had gotten report on me. I mean, for a mercenary trying to accomplish fame and seek great rewards, I mean, it was only natural he would get a report. And Chrysos was no normal individual either. To defeat a demon, you need to have something more than just humanity. And for him, well, I mean, he was that of the snake god's child. But anyways, it's a whole other mess. It's a whole other thing. But anyways, he beat my ass. He then struck a deal with me. Right? Makes sense. Might as well, because demons love their contracts. And I wanted to cling to life and existence. I mean, that's all I wanted. So, made a deal, and because most of the town was now considered cursed, I got it. I became a Margrave and a mayor, and yeah. So, yeah. And now I am here, and this is where I take care of spirits and other lost individuals. Anybody Chrysos doesn't want, I'll take, right? So yeah, that's the ghost town. So that's a bit of lore. We'll get into it more later. Sorry if that was long-winded, but yeah. Actually, I don't think it was. I just looked. I'm only 9 minutes to stream, and I kind of rushed through that. But whatever. Yeah. So let's go into faves. Let's start with fave manga, no? It's because I am a VTuber. And I know not all VTubers are into, like, anime and manga, but that's kind of the spirit of it. I mean, it stemmed in Japan. Sorry, I was about to go on my whole long in-depth rant about VTubers because I love them. I think it's such a cool cultural platform. I adore it. Yeah. If you don't recognize some of these titles, I am a big fan of BL, so there's a lot of them. So we got Happy Kuso Life, my favorite all-time BL. It's very goofy. It's one of the goofiest BL series I've ever read. It's about, well, it's like bottom x bottom type stuff. And then they're both really pathetic and whiny and also not the greatest people. And I love it. I love it so much. Then Berserk. I'm a huge Dark Fantasy fan. My favorite game's two-player Dark Fantasy. Hellsing. I love the manga, and I specifically love the 2001 anime adaptation. Oh my god, this soundtrack, if you have not watched Hellsing 2001, some people are like the animation's crap. I mean, it's 2001. Sometimes people don't like that older sort of style to it. And yeah, there's some moments that aren't necessarily the most flashiest, but I like it. Dorohedoro. I love Kyu Hayashida, one of my biggest art inspirations. I absolutely adore her series, including Dai Dark, which is not on this list. Chukai Suiri, which is Anime Girl Columbo. I love the TV show Columbo. If you don't know what that is a detective series with Peter Falk, and it's like a supernatural. she's very Columbo-esque, and I just love this series a lot. Sekeiichi Hatsukoi, a classic and iconic BL. If you've ever heard of Dungeon Romantica, that was another series done by the same author. Iconic, I love it. It's the nostalgia in me. Is it questionable? Yes. But sometimes series you read can be questionable, and you can still enjoy them. That's okay. Then, Kakuryou no Yarumeshi, which is oh my god, probably one of my favorite shoujo novels and mangas. That's very Japanese folklore heavy about Ayakashi, Mononoke, and a human girl who ends up being transported to the world of spirits and helps make food at a bed and breakfast. It's so good. There's an anime, incredible opening. I love it so much. It originally was a novel. It also has a manga as well. Incredible. Next, we have Golden Kamui. Oh my god, I cannot express to you enough how much I love this series. I am Anishinaabe and white mixed, so a lot of Ainu culture is very, very similar to Northern Anishinaabe, and it's so fucking good. Well, obviously, besides that, I love historical settings, and especially because it takes place in the early 20th century in Japan, it's a very interesting stage for them because westernization was really taking hold. Remainers of samurai. It's really good. Then Kaiba, which is an incredible anime. It has like a pop art sort of art style. It's sci-fi. It's really cool. It gets into dark themes of identity, body dysmorphia, like all these different things. It's really, really good. It's kind of gruesome. It's kind of inappropriate in a lot of ways. So, please be sure to search up if it triggers, if you have any for all of these series. Some of them are a lot more. Obviously, the next one on the list is Paranoia Agent, which is extremely dark, has a lot of triggering themes for people. So please, if you are curious, be careful. Paranoia Agent I love because I'm a traumatized bastard, and yeah. I I have a special fondness for it in my heart. Also, the animation is incredible. Another one is Perfect Blue, which I do believe was done by the same director. And then we have Mononoke, and I do love Princess Mononoke or Mononoke Hime, but this is specifically in Mononoke anime, which is about a spirit that like helps people with cases. And oh my god, the art in it is so good. Then we have Miruko-chan, which, yeah, of course the ghost VTuber would like Miruko-chan. It's about this girl who like awakens to like spirits and such. Like she can see all these spirits and they're really scary though. It's really, really good. The anime has a little bit of the classic sort of like making it a bit more lewd than it necessarily needs to be. Now, I'm never going to ever look at a high school girl that way, so I like to pretend that it's not going on, but that's for most anime though, unfortunately. Let's Say Show, once again, a really good shoujo series, but it takes place with a boy who can see spirits. It's very wholesome. Extremely popular anime. It's also, I love the art style as well for the manga. Half Prince, one of the greatest Chinese mangas I'd ever have to say. And I say manga because it's very styled like a normal manga. That's about a girl who gets into an MMO, plays as a guy, becomes this blood elf prince, and it's just really, really fun. If you like series that take place in like MMO settings, like greater depth, goes into like what is consciousness, it's really good. Action heavy, really goofy. I love it a lot. Also, if you like girls hiding their identity as men, which it's a genre I really enjoy, and then also guys falling in love with the guy who they don't realize is a girl, that is also in it as well. So, banger. Akatsuki no Yona, incredible series. Princess, cousin usurped the throne, she's on the run, dragons, Chinese culture, very, very good. JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, I don't need to go into why I love that. I love JoJo. Yu Yu Hakusho, I love that series, iconic. Hoemi no Bakudan, one of the best openings. I love the style for it. I love that old style, done by the same author, mangaka who did Hunter x Hunter. Barao no Soretsu, or Requiem of the Rose King. I love that series. It is inspired off of Shakespeare's Henry VIII, and then or Henry III, and then Richard III, and then Henry. I'm blanking on the numbers, but anyways, it's really good, really dramatic. I really like it because I myself am biologically intersex, so the main character actually also has a body really similar to me, but identifies mostly as male. He was raised male, and so it's him having to fight in wars and try and, you know, win the throne for his family, but there's like a lot going on with it. I love it a lot. It's so good. Ranking of Kings. I love the anime. Cute art. The manga's really cute as well. It's like has a similar appeal to me as like One Punch Man with the manga because it's very simple art style, and I'm talking about like the original webcomic that one did. I love. And then, of course, Ranking of Kings qualifies as dark fantasy. I love the setting design. I love the animation. So good. Silver Diamond. This is a slept-on favorite of mine. I can understand why people would not like it, but it is one of the first BLs that I read that was like, I love adventure-heavy, plot-heavy BLs, where like there is romance kind of in it, like it is a part of it, but it's more focused on like what it means to exist the way that these characters exist, and just the complexity of what is free will, what is controlled, who are you in entirely, and I like it a lot. It's done some really good stuff. Okay, so that's the anime and manga. These are, what's the next one? These are my favorite games, and not surprising, Bloodborne. I'm a huge From Software fan. I love Bloodborne. It is the greatest game of all time. It is the easiest From Software game, though, but I do love it a lot. All the themes matter a lot to me, and you're not gonna see it ever, but I do indeed have a Bloodborne-related tattoo, even. So, yeah. Little King story, another slept-on fave. It's so good. It's about this little boy who ends up, like, running into the woods, chasing after some rats, gets teleported to another dimension where he's all of a sudden considered king, and he's kind of trapped in this nightmare. And it's really, really good. I've never seen a game ever that was ever like it. Originally it was out on the Wii. It can also be played on Steam. The Steam one's a bit glitchy though, but it's a really, really good series. I mean, not series, really good game. I love it a lot. It has like classical music throughout it, and I'm a really big classical music fan. Elder Scrolls series, Morrowind, Oblivion, Skyrim, Elder Scrolls Online. I have played all of those, and I have enjoyed them heavily. I genuinely think Morrowind's my favorite because something about the social structure and of Vardenfell and all these different things. I don't know, it satisfies me. And then also Dagoth's voice is incredibly hot and fine. Gosh. Boy has been in a volcano for fucking centuries, but man, woo! What a voice. Yakuza series. I love Yakuza. I love Goofy series, but that touch on heavier themes. I love it a lot. Kiryu is my everything. Saejima-san is actually, his voice actor in general I'm obsessed with, and that he's actually in the next one, Hakuoki Kyoto / Edwin's. He voices the one who voices Akiyama voices Hijikata in both of these. Takes place in it's a visual novel, takes place in 1966 Japan. When westernization was really hitting, where the shogunate was losing. So it's really heavy. It follows the Shinsengumi, a real historical group that was loyal to the shogunates. If you don't know Japanese history, you're like, what are they talking about? But it's a really cool adaptation of it. It also has demons though, biological experiments that kind of fall a little bit into vampire territory, but not fully. Very, very, I love that game a lot. There's also a lot of options to choose from, a lot of lore you figure out through each route. One of my favorite visual novels of all time. Incredible soundtrack, incredible sound design. 10 out of 10, I fucking love that game. Then, Puzzle Quest Challenge of the Warlords. This is probably the game that really got me into, like, traditional fantasy. It's like exactly if you ever, there's so many like mangas and animes that are like, oh, the Demon King got revived, and like that sort of thing. It's very much like that, where like the Lich King is reborn, you're a hero, and you must go and like travel and like befriend people, but it's also Bejeweled to the death. It's really interesting. Spell casting, you can siege places. It's like, it's a really fun series. I recommend it. It's always really cheap. It's on like every platform ever. I love Puzzle Quest. Alright, and then the one thing you must recall, I love this visual novel. It's about dolls, ball-jointed dolls that get brought to life. I love dolls. I actually have my own ball-jointed doll that's a third scale, so like, it's 1/3 of what he would be full, so should be, it's 60 centimeters tall. I only have one of them because that shit's expensive, but I love him a lot. And I like sewing clothes for them. Eventually, I do want to do some doll sewing streams so I can like make different clothes for him. I have a lot of fabric that I'm not using and also a lot of yarn. Poor boy doesn't have enough clothes, and I refuse to pay fucking $20 to get him his own jacket. I love and I respect the people who make that. I love and respect all artists, but I am a cheapskate and I'm very broke. Alright. Dark Souls series, Elden Ring. Love From Software. I can ramble on forever, and I will be playing more of these games because I'm addicted, so yeah, enough said. Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, favorite Legend of Zelda game. Bomb-ass soundtrack, and character design goes crazy. I'm so inspired by it. I think that VTubers take notes. It's like a way of like having a very complex design, but also not having it be cohesive, having it have a lot of character and personality. I love Twilight Princess. Plot incredible. I can go on forever. I love Legend of Zelda in general. Majora Mask, my second favorite. But Twilight Princess forever in my heart. Dragon Age series. I fucking love Dragon Age. It's been a while since I've last played Dragon Age Origins and Dragon Age 2. I definitely want to play these soon on stream. I love them. Dragon Age Inquisition, Dorian has my heart. Dragon Age Veilguard. What's his name? Old man. Why am I blinking? Emmerich. Oh. If I ever play more games that have dateable characters, just know, if there is an older man that is like traumatized, that is the one I'm going to aim for. I'm bisexual, but I do have a stronger preference for men, especially ones with a bit of aged like wine. I can put it that way. Alright, Professor Layton series. I love that game. I wish that there was more ports to the PC. Like, I have so many of them on my old DS, but trying to transfer that, I was like watching the tutorials where it's like, alright, this is how you can like stream DS games, and it's like, oh, when they crack open the DS and they start soldiering, I'm like, You know, knowing my luck, I'm gonna fuck that up. Alright, and then 100% orange juice. And it's like, this is so random, but it's like a board game. Anime characters, it's goofy as fuck. You are cursed. Your RNG is always cursed. It's just really fun, casual game. Up to 4 players. I just like it a lot. Yeah. Also, if anybody ever wants to play 100% orange juice with me, that is also another VTuber, please let me know. Or actually any game. I'm always up for collabs. Yeah. Alright, now let's go into just general likes. Dark fantasy, political intrigue, romance novels, fantasy BL and GL. I think it's my favorite flavor. Comics, mangas, graphic novels. I love everything. Obviously I focused on manga and anime, but there is a lot of other comics and graphic novels that I really adore. My whole room is filled with bookshelves, just with books and comics and graphic novels. Like, I love going to comic book stores, and they have like the 25-cent bin, the 75-cent bin, the $1 bins, and I'm like, alright, let me look, and I'll just grab, like, right next to me, I have like, I genuinely probably 100 just miscellaneous comics that are just like, I've never heard of this artist before. They're probably not that successful, but this is such a fascinating story, and their art can be so incredible. Then spooky stuff. Spooky stuff in general. Favorite holiday, you could probably guess, is Halloween. I love throwing Halloween parties. I love Halloween decorations. I love goth culture. Um I love cemeteries. I love ghosts. I love ghouls. I love goblins. I love creatures. I love fae that are spooky. I, just I spooky stuff in general. I just adore. Um. Then next is competent, arrogant, smart ass Ikemen. I was talking about old men that are traumatized. This is something else. If you ever go on my Tumblr, I have way too much fan art of Marimashita Iruma-kun, and specifically Kadoego because I'm very in love with him. I have a lot of self-ship art that will never see the light of day because I am also Yume Danshi, but I am too embarrassed to show it. Maybe now if I can do some more, but openly, but it can be a bit embarrassing to be fanboying over a character that hard. Alright, strong, violent, determined female characters. Yes. And this isn't necessarily, like, romantic for me, I just really like strong, violent, determined female characters. When I was reading Black Clover, because I used to read every Shonen Jump series as it came out for a decade, I do believe. I stopped recently. Black Clover has a character named Mario Leona Vermilion, and oh my god, that's the pinnacle. That's the pinnacle of female character design. I love it. All right, then spiders and carnivorous bugs. I love them, especially I love centipedes. I want a giant centipede, though I do not think that is good to own. I also want to get a tarantula at some point, but for now, I have cats and I have a hamster. I have a Chinese striped hamster named Jume. Written for with the characters for Vermilion in Chinese, and then the character for Fine Jade, I do believe. I might be blanking on that, but yeah. Apologies if I don't pronounce her name right. But I love Chinese striped hamsters. They're really funny because they're like when they go ball form, like very round and small, and then when they run or do anything, they like elongate. So they remind me of a green heron, if you know what that bird is. All right, marine life. Not surprising. I mean, I talked about my lore. Technically, I am partially a marine demon, marine-inspired demon, I guess. If you look back at my reference sheet, you'll see my ears are actually webbed. I love deep sea marine life the most. My favorite fish is a chimera, deep sea chimera. I love the giant crabs underwater. I spend a lot of time, if I'm working on projects, I'll put on like the EV Nautilus, where they like will send surveyors, what is it called? Like subs. They don't have people in them, but it's to look at marine life, deep sea usually, or just on the edge. So yeah. If you haven't checked out EV Nautilus and you like marine life, I really recommend it. It's just nice to watch and see what they find. Hamsters. Yes, I love hamsters. I own Chinese striped hamsters. I only own one right now. I've owned more in the past. I love all hamsters though. I just, for some reason, really love Chinese striped hamsters. I just think they're really cute. But yeah, I love Syrian hamsters. I love Campbell dwarf hamsters. I love Roborovsky hamsters. Pretty much any hamster I've seen, I've always loved, including Chikawa, which I am going to die on the hill that Chikawa is a hamster. The anxiety, the boldness, the loving to stuff his little cheeks, like, Chikawa is a hamster in my heart. I stand by that. Alright, cats. I currently live with 3 cats. I have my own cat is a very linky orange cat that sits funny. I like to post pictures of him on Blue Sky. His name is a Buxagon, which is, I do believe it's an Anishinaabe, but it might also technically be one of the relating tribes. That means, wildcat. Yeah. And he is very, very goofy. He's very funny. He likes to yell at night and run around to whip his head around, and oh, I love him. He also likes to sit on his like the chairs we have and like stretch out his armpits. He likes the pressure for some reason. Weird cat. He's such a weird cat. Orange cats never fail to like they aren't beating the weird cats stereotype for orange ones. All right. Then cooking, cleaning, servantry. My health is indeed quite bad. So I cannot do as much as I used to, but I used to work as a live-in caretaker for an elderly woman. And indeed, I actually would probably still be doing that if my health didn't get worse. And I will talk about that right at the end because it is important. I really do love streaming, but sometimes my health will get in the way. I suffer from something called conversion disorder, or NMD, I do believe. NFD? I'm blanking on the acronym for like the full thing. Conversion disorder is like the common name. Yeah. You can search up about it. I have a pretty severe case. But roguelikes. I love roguelike games. Just recently, the fucking Uma Musume craze got me. Because, like, I also love idols. I love idols a lot. And that isn't on the list, but I do love... I'm weak. I saw NSYNC when I was younger, and I was like, I want that. And then I got older, and then I got introduced to Japanese idols, and Korean idols, and Chinese idols, and I'm like, whoa. That's kind of it. And then I got into VTubers in 2020. But yeah, roguelikes. Uma Musume, I got into that mostly because of the roguelike idol. Faction does not... Idol part, not faction. But I love roguelikes. Enter the Gungeon, one of my favorites. What else? Oh, Eileen is the newest one that I've been really enjoying, the fantasy game. What else? Just roguelikes in general. I really like it. Another reason why I've been really enjoying Night Rain as well. Strategy / city sims, I try to refrain from playing them too much because they're... From what I think, they're kind of boring to watch, but I do love them. Got addicted to Ratopia more recently. But I love... Like, I'm the sort of weirdo that enjoys, like, figuring out how to set up subsidies and taxes and welfare and trying to lay out streets and houses just right and make sure that production efficiency is high, but also, like, health levels are high. My number one priority is trying to take care of my people. Like, it's not for my own greed or profit, it's just I want to try and make the most efficient thing ever. And then plot-heavy games. For me, usually, even though I was just talking about city sims, in most cases outside of that, the story means the most to me. I spend most of my days just reading novels, especially web novels, but I love a good story. I love old folk tales, I love history, well, actually, I'm the type of weirdo that, like, or not necessarily weirdo, it's a good trait to have. It's okay if you don't, but I love talking to people and hearing their stories. When I worked as a caretaker, it was in a very desolate place. So a lot of the old timers up there would chat with me, and it was nice hearing their stories because, you know, a lot of them didn't have much long to live, and like it feels nice to carry on a part of them with you, to walk in the stead of those who no longer can, and, you know, think about them, because is that not what people mostly want, is to be remembered? Obviously some people don't. People are like, no, I fucking hate that, don't remember me, forget about me. But you know, I'm somebody that really likes, you know, looking at too, like, ancestral stuff, but also like beyond that as well. I like just learning about the history of different places beyond me, because I think it's nice to try and remember people. I mean, I love anthropology and archaeology and paleontology even, because even old animals, like, I think it's nice to remember, to be able to think of things, and that it's been long past their time, you know, to live beyond your mortal years. Isn't that cool? I mean, it's a ghost talking. What else did you expect? All right, let's talk about hobbies. All right, hobbies: playing guitar, electric bass, piano. I play more instruments than that. I also play clarinet, mountain dulcimer. What else? Oh, banjo. I've been recently getting more into the banjo. And I have, like, a lot of just miscellaneous instruments. Like, I have a traditional Anishinaabe hand drum. I have rain drums. I have most of the stuff I have is inherited. So I have a lot of family, which is normal for people who are Anishinaabe. And so anytime somebody's like, well, you know, I tried playing this instrument, I don't want any more, here, take it. Because I traditionally play left-handed, but I trained myself to play right-handed on most instruments, so I'm ambidextrous on, obviously with piano that doesn't matter, but like guitar, bass, banjo, I can play it backwards or forward without restringing it. Yeah. I love making music. My music is not it's always experimental, to say the least. If it's not your cup of tea, do not worry. I don't really necessarily need people to support me that way. It's just something that, if somebody likes it, then somebody likes it. Might as well toss it up. Put that shit out there, please. Then sing karaoke, utemita. I just recently this year started getting into, actually this spring, I do believe it started in May, I started doing a weekly cover a week, and that's usually of Vocaloid songs, and, well, because there's like this interesting thing about utemita, if you don't know what that is, where like, often with Vocaloid producers, they will make a song, and they will leave like instrumental, because a lot of times, people doing covers of the song help bring numbers in for them. So like, it's like this cool ecosystem. Like it's a symbiotic relationship. That's the word I was looking for. And I think that's fun. And I don't have to worry about necessarily being copyright strike when I do that. Do I think I have a good voice for singing? Not really. But it's fun. A lot of people do like my voice, which I think is strange, but a lot of the other, like, a lot of people that I like don't necessarily think their voice is all like great. I'm like, no, it's the pinnacle, it's peak, please. So yeah, it's to each their own. Also, something too, if you're watching this and you like doing something, just put yourself out there. Somebody is going to like it. You have a niche somewhere. There's an audience for everything. Just take a shot, try it out. I believe in you. I believe in you. Seriously. And you're like, but you don't even know me. No, I promise, I believe in you. Like, everybody has their own appeal and worth that they may not even recognize. And it's only by putting yourself out there and figuring it out that you'll realize it. And I think that's cool. And if you struggle to find success, that's okay. Trying to get, well, let's say, for instance, one of my covers recently got 300 views, and it has 30 likes. That means 1/10 of the people that saw the cover liked it enough to leave a like, right? And so it's something, and sometimes I'll get 150 views, only like 5 likes, right? And who knows who these people are? Who knows how they found your stuff? Who knows why they liked your stuff? That's the difficult thing about content creation, is try to reach an audience in the first place, and especially if you're starting out, you're gonna get lower numbers. You're not going to be able to reach the people who really love your stuff. So, you know, just keep trying, and maybe the algorithm will favor you. Try and put yourself out there, you know? And if you aren't interested in doing that, then that's cool too. Do whatever makes you happy as long as you aren't actively hurting others, okay? But I believe in you. If you want to do something, I believe in you. There is a way. In most cases. Alright. Next, embroidering sewing. I was talking about sewing clothes before. I also love embroidery. I mostly embroider flowers and leaves. Not the greatest stuff, but I just like it. There's something very fun about just feeling your hands weave in and out, just bring simple shapes to life, and just the repetitiveness of it is very soothing. I really, really like it. Drawing. I drew everything that you have seen today and more. I do the illustrations for all of my thumbnails, all of my covers, all of my fan art. I've been recently also doing art fight as well. That's been really fun. I gotta get back on it. Yeah, I love drawing. I've been also working on a comic, Mirror of, Witch of Mirrors. I don't know why I said mirrors first. And I will be working on getting that out. I've been being slow on that, because I've been working on, well, VTuber stuff alongside, well, just life's been kicking me in the ass, no doubt. 3D modeling, not something I dabble in too much, but I do like doing it. I have a really old 3D model of myself. It's not rigged to be used because I like 3D modeling, but the problem is I hate rigging 3D modeling, and yeah. Reading, yeah. I was talking about it before, I love reading. I spend most of my time reading. Literally 90% of my screen phone time is reading. So like, yeah. Yeah, some some serious stuff. And then Breaking Life 2D. I rigged this, right? I was actually practicing rigging last night because I wanted to surprise somebody with a their own like VTuber model, but Live 2D riggers who do a good job. Kudos, shout out to you. Shout out. Of course, I'm using the free version of Live 2D because, if I can find a way to make it work without having to pay money, I will. I'm too frugal. But seriously, that's a lot of hard work. Be thankful to people who rig your stuff. It's not easy. Alright, playing visual novels. I love playing, oh wait, writing. I've been really recently wanting to, like, just write something like a BL that's, like, very, like, tropish. Just something silly that I can just quickly write a chapter for and throw up, like, once a week. I kind of do, like, weekly things, like weekly cover, weekly chapter. I think that'd be cool. Kind of my way of, like, gathering some different audiences. Like, if you don't like my cover, maybe you like my writing. I don't know. Playing visual novels. I love visual novels. I don't feel confident playing on them in stream. Because sometimes they'll short circuit, especially if they're romantic. But, yeah, I love visual novels. Daydream About Men. Like I said, I am bisexual, but I do have a strong preference for men. I do spend most of my time daydreaming about men. That is true. Pondering lore. I love lore. When I was talking about my traits earlier and I said nerdy, yeah, I love lore. I spend probably a good chunk of my day just thinking about lore. Especially with Night Rain coming out, I'm just losing my mind trying to think about all the implications of Elden Ring, and I've been watching so many fucking lore videos, and there's so much that, like, I don't agree with, and that's the thing, is, like, especially with those series, like, there's no straightforward answer, so it's all speculative, and so I'll look at somebody and be like, no, they forgot about this one piece of armor found in this one location, and that points in a different direction. What about the themes that we've seen this with these colors meaning this? And it's, oh god, talk about a headache. They got into they filled my brain with worms, Elden Ring lore worms, but it's also beyond that too. If you've watched me play, what game did it really stand out? I think Pillars of Eternity. I read a lot of the lore. I mean, Avowed, I read a lot of the books. Ooh, Avowed is such a good game. Alright, looking at mushrooms. I love mushrooms. Not a mushroom, but if you've ever seen Ghost Pipe, that's one of the most beautiful flowers I've ever seen. It's very important to us in Anishinaabe. It's so cool, too. And it's completely, like, white and glow-like, and it actually thrives on the nutrients that come from, like, the roots and mycelium below, instead of actually having chlorophyll, which means, you know, how plants create food by using the sun, right? So it's really, they're really cool. But they kind of remind me of mushrooms. There's, like, these white mushrooms. I forgot what they're called. They're, like, inky cap mushrooms or something like that. And, where they're white at first, and just briefly, like, when they're fully grown, and then as they deteriorate, which is really fast, they turn to this black goo and just drip down. It's so cool. I also love bleeding tooth fungus. I think it's so cool. Pretty much any mushrooms or fungi I just think are so cool. I really like it. Anything that takes a big part in the decay process, I'm a big fan. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a big fan. Alright. Then, cheering for my idols. I don't want to talk too much about other VTubers that fit into the idols I cheer for, but they do exist. When it comes down to more mainstream stuff, boy group 17. Favorite bias DK. Have you, if you, he did a fucking play where he was Arthur Pendragon, and the photos of him make me weak. But he's so pretty. He's so pretty. He's so pretty. All right, petting my cats and hamster. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, can you blame me? If you have a cat next to you or you have a hamster, pet that. Unless they don't like that. Some don't. Don't push it. Be kind, be respectful, just how you want your own boundaries to be respected. And then if you don't want your boundaries to be respected, well then, try and have some sympathy for those who do, right? Alright, then in goals. Reach at least 100 followers, help encourage and inspire others, continue releasing cover every week, release more original music, finish a comic and upload it, write my own BL, have fun with everyone, make some VTuber friends, work on live 2D skills. Yeah, so that is my my late debut, as if I haven't been... Well, I mean, I just finished rigging this model properly. And, I mean, if I'm being honest, most of my other streams have been kind of half-baked. Yeah. But, thank you for coming by for anybody who has, and people in the future. I am very, very grateful to everybody who has supported me, even slightly. Even people leaving hate comments, thank you for boosting it, right? Because, like, it's amazing how much comments actually boost the algorithm. So thank you, thank you. And, you know, if you are interested in watching my stuff, awesome. If you are also a VTuber who's looking to, you know, maybe you're like, oh, this person seems cool, let's be friends. Like, cool, like, hit me up. Of course, I cannot always guarantee that it will work out, but I am very willing and open for that sort of stuff. Also, not necessarily even VTubers, but if you're also a creative or a YouTuber and you want to discuss different things, cool, I'm up for it. Yeah. So, thank you all so much. I'm glad I finally finished this, and I hope to see you again next time. Bye-bye! Alright.